Shadows in the night, the silent streets. The rain fell sheets drenching the streets of Ravenwood. Detective Marcus Kane stood under the flickering street lamp, his trench coat heavy with water. The crime scene tape fluttered in the wind, cordoning off the narrow where the body had been found. A young woman, early 20s, lay crumpled against the brick wall. Her lifeless eyes stared into nothingness, a crimson stain spreading across chest. Marcus crew down, examining the scene. No purse, no ID, just a single silver pendant around neck shaped like a crescent moon. "Robbery gone wrong?" Officer Daniels asked, his voice barely audible over the rain. Marcus shook his head. "No, look at her neck. Those are ligature marks. This was premeditated." Back at the precinct, Marcus pored over case files. The victim, identified as Emily Carter, worked as a bartender at a local dive. Her social media was sparse, her life seemingly ordinary. The crescent moon pendant, it wasn't the first time Marcus had seen it. 6 months ago, another victim had been found with the same pendant, a college student named Lisa Turner. The case had gone cold, but the similarities were impossible to ignore. Both women were in their early 20s, both in alleys, both wearing that damn pendant. Marcus pulled up the old case file. Lisa's case had been labeled a mugging, but now it seemed suspicious. He leaned back in his chair, running a hand through his graying hair. Could there be a serial killer operating in Ravenwood? Marcus decided to visit the bar where Emily worked. The Neon Moon was a dimly lit establishment, the kind of where people went to disappear. The bartender, a man in his 30s with a scar running down his cheek, eyed Marcus warily. "Emily's dead?" he asked, wiping down the counter. "Damn, thought she just quit." Marcus nodded, showing him a photo of the pendant. "She was wearing this. Ever seen it before?" The bartender hesitated, then nodded. "Yeah. A guy came in here a few times, gave to the girls he said was a symbol of protection." "What's his name?" "Don't know. Never gave one. But he was rich, wore expensive suits, drove black." Marcus spent the next few days combing through security footage from the bar. Finally, he found him. A tall, broad-shouldered man in a tailored suit, leaving the bar the night Emily disappeared. The car matched the description, a black Mercedes with tinted windows. License plate was unreadable, but Marcus wasn't deterred. He knew this city, knew its underbelly. This man he was connected. Marcus decided to set a trap. He enlisted the help of a young female to pose as a bartender at the Neon Moon. She wore the crescent moon pendant, draw the killer out. For 3 nights, nothing happened. On the 4th, the man in the suit returned. He at the bar, his eyes lingering on the pendant. When she left for night, he followed. And his team were. They tailed the Mercedes to a secluded mansion the outskirts of. Inside, they found a twisted shrine, photographs of the victims, news clippings, and dozens of crescent moon pendants. The man was arrested, his name revealed Victor Black, a wealthy businessman with a dark obsession. But as Marcus looked into Victor's cold, empty eyes, he knew this was only the beginning. Victor's trial was a media circus. He was convicted, sentenced to life without parole. But Marcus couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. Victor had refused to speak to explain his motives. A month later, as he sorted through evidence boxes, he found a photograph that sent a chill down his spine. It was a group of men, all wearing crescent moon pendants, standing in front of the mansion. Victor was among them, but he wasn't alone. Marcus stared at the photo, his heart pounding. This wasn't work of one man, it was an organization. And somewhere out there, the shadows were still waiting. Ravenwood slept, unaware of the darkness lingered. Marcus sat at his desk, the photo in front of him. He knew he couldn't stop now. The crescent moon wasn't a symbol, it was an operation. The game was far from over. And Marcus Kane was the only one who could bring it to an end.